Welcome to today's video. Today I'm gonna save you tens of thousands of dollars on the new build home of your dream by sharing the 5 hacks that you need to know in order to get the best deal with the builder. Make sure you stick around to the end as well, because I'm gonna share with you the #1 reason and trap that I see buyers when buying a new build fall into. Let's jump in. Hey, I'm Rich, and if this is your very first time to the channel and you want to know everything there is to know about lifestyle, real estate, and new builds in Tucson, Arizona and Southern Arizona, then you have come to the right place. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so that you can stay tuned in, and tap the little bell for notifications so you can be the very first to learn everything you want to know. My family has lived in Tucson for over 200 years. It's the city that I love the most and the city that I know best. Having over 15 years of experience both as a certified real estate appraiser and a realtor here in Tucson, we get calls and texts every single day from people just like you who are looking to make a move, and we absolutely love it. So whether you're moving in a day or a year, let's get connected. You can call, text, email, or even schedule a free Zoom consult. We're happy to help make your move smooth anywhere in town. Let's jump in. The #1 thing that you need to know about getting the best deal on your new build is to buy at the beginning of the development. Oftentimes these communities that builders open have somewhere between a 2 and a 5 year span of time that they're planning on selling homes. And if you look historically, it almost always happens where the beginning prices of a community that a builder offers versus the prices that are offered at the end when they're in closeout and they've sold everything, there is a huge discrepancy in price. Usually it's a 30, 40, 50% increase in price over that 2 to 5 years. So for sure, the best thing to do is to make sure you're identifying communities that are newer in the earlier phases of the development. You can simply find out from the builder how many years it's proposed that they're gonna be building, and that will give you an indication of what year they're in and how much longer they're most likely going to be doing price increases. Now, this is important for a couple reasons, because first off, the builder sets the price. The builder is building at cost, and then they are setting a price in that particular development. Now, the builder is for profit, meaning that they're going to continue to follow the market, the demand, and all the other metrics, and they're going to continue to adjust the price upward. Oftentimes, they can even force the appreciation in a specific area because they control the inventory, and if somebody wants to come into that community, they're the ones that control the inventory because they're building the houses. Another factor that's really important about this is these builders are some of the largest national and international builders on the planet. Their budget to hire economists to do the research to verify that a development is going to do well in a particular area is immense. So trust their research. They've hired the best economists to verify that there is going to be long-term demand for this area. They've looked at all the economic factors to substantiate that. So trust in their research, because they have much deeper pockets than you and I, and they've already done all the research to put tens of millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars in this development to ensure that it develops and appreciates over time. The other thing that's really important that I've touched on is there's usually a long-term growth plan with the development. So it's not like where you're buying in a community that doesn't have a long-term growth plan. This is set. The economists that the builders have hired have indicated that there is a long-term plan, or at least long enough for them to sell for 2 to 5 years, in some cases even more, where you can as closely as possible depend on that appreciation over time. The last point that I wanted to make on this is that the builder has a nationwide marketing effort. Now, most neighborhoods, take a resale neighborhood for instance, most neighborhoods are not gonna have nearly the national marketing budget that a builder development will have. Again, these builders are some of the largest, biggest national builders on the planet, and they have a huge budget set aside to market nationally for people that are not only local, but people that are moving from out of state. So you can be rest assured your community and the values in your community, if you buy early in the development, they're gonna be seen by a lot more people because of the budget that the active builder in the community is spending to get it in front of everyone's eyeballs. All right, so number 2 hack that you need to know to get the best deal on a new build from the builder is at the end of the builder's fiscal year is when they push to close the year out the hardest. They do sales rallies, they do rah-rah, they give incentives. They're gonna do everything they can to push their team, their sales team, to be able to move as much inventory before the fiscal year is done because they have to report their numbers. Some of these builders are publicly traded companies, and we're talking multi-million dollar building companies, building enterprises on a national and international stage. They have a lot at stake. And so getting the numbers in at the end of their fiscal year is going to be a whole big push right at the end that you can take advantage of. Some examples of what incentives I've seen has been huge interest rate incentives that can be 30, 40, even 50% off of what the market interest rate is. Big closing cost incentives, upwards of $10,000, $15,000 to cover a rate buy down, your appraisal costs, your loan costs, pretty much coming to the table with no out-of-pocket expenses aside from your down payment. Also offering things like move-in packages, which would be additional appliances that may not be offered, upgraded appliances, blinds or window coverings throughout the house, maybe upgraded structural options like an additional 9-foot ceiling throughout the house or an extended patio. This is where most of the wheeling and dealing happens. When we're helping a buyer get the best deal on a new build, this is absolutely one of the strategies that we employ by knowing which builders are coming up on their fiscal year and being able to identify them. That way we have a much stronger avenue in the negotiation. All right, so number 3 on the list is pre-qualify with the builder's in-house lender. Most builders are gonna have an in-house lender. They're gonna have some subsidiary company that's a branch of their building company that also is a lender, and they're gonna house a lot of incentives there. Even if you're pre-qualified with an outside lender, someone like Chase or Wells Fargo or even a local bank, that's great. And my suggestion would be to also get pre-qualified with the builder's in-house lender. And the reason why is because having a pre-qualification from an outside lender when you're about to negotiate with a builder is good. Having a pre-qualification with their in-house lender is great because that tells the builder that you're potentially willing to give them an additional piece of business that they can make some profit on, which means they can shave some money off of the price potentially, or be willing to. The other thing is that they have more trust in their lending officers, their loan officers, than they do outside loan officers because they know the drill, right? They're all kind of a team, so they can easily collaborate on whether this buyer is solid, this qualification is solid or not. This really lets the builder know that you're here to play ball. You're serious, you're not just kicking tires. And once you start the negotiation, they're not gonna have to be worried about showing their cards and you just walking away. It shows them that you've already taken the additional step to move a little bit closer to getting into contract with them, and they're gonna be much more willing to kind of show their hand a little bit more. Once you are pre-qualified with them, you're gonna be in a much stronger place in the negotiation. Really, you're just gonna have a lot more credibility in the negotiation with the builder. Number 4 is be upfront and honest with the builder about you shopping around different builders in different floor plans and different communities. I would say be not over the top about it, but I certainly would let them know. I would let them know that you're out shopping, you're looking at several different communities, you're getting the feel, you wanna make sure it's the right one, and you're really shopping around. I would make sure that they know that. This goes back to some basic negotiating, which is don't show your cards. You got to keep your cards tight, right? So I would suggest that if you're with friends, if you're with family and you're looking, make sure everybody's on board and understands, hey, let's keep it a little hush hush when we're walking around, because that site agent is going to get an indication from you on whether this is the perfect house, whether it kind of meets. They're going to be reading you if they're a skilled salesperson. Let's hope they are. They're going to be reading you and getting a sense of, hey, are these clients potentially serious about this house? So I would say keep your cards a little close to the vest, right? Keep your emotions kind of neutral. You can share some excitement about certain aspects, of course. It's an exciting process, so enjoy it. And just make sure that you're not over the top. We have to have this house. This is the one. Oh my God, I can't believe we found it. Just understand that that's going to put you in a position, if you then try to negotiate, that you've kind of showed several of your cards to that agent, and ultimately it's going to make it more difficult for you to get a deal done at a number that you really like. All right, number 5, and this is a big one, and I think the biggest trap that buyers fall into, not knowing and understanding that the builder site agent, the builder representative, works exclusively for the builder. They have zero representation to you as a buyer, which means anything and everything that you're hoping to accomplish, that agent is really, of course, they're looking to make a sale, but they're representing the seller, which is the builder. They are not representing you as a buyer, which means they don't have the same obligation to negotiate on your behalf. They're going to be feeding their upper management information and intel about your situation. So when you start negotiation, if you're in there without a real estate agent that's really qualified to work with builders like myself, it's going to be equivalent to showing up on your biggest, most impactful day in court ever without an attorney. And I know that you probably would not do that. One of the misconceptions that I want to clear up here is that the builder is going to give you a better deal if you don't have an agent. That is absolutely 100% not true. The reason why is because as the builders build in their margins for each of these homes, they already have a marketing and commission cost built into the deal. So they've already allocated a compensation paid to a buyer's agent on your behalf as part of their profit margin. And they are not going to give that away just because you don't have an agent. What they're going to do is they're going to allocate that towards their own profit. So by not having an agent, not only have you most likely gotten a worse deal, you have actually given a better profit margin to the builder. When it comes to new construction, not all agents are created equal. You want an agent like myself who has a really great established relationship with all of the builders in the community or in the area, because once you say that you are working with that agent, you assume their reputation. And if they have a bad reputation, upper management, the person you're negotiating against, is not necessarily going to favor that. If you don't have any reputation, if your agent doesn't have any reputation, they may not really appreciate that either. It's much better to have an agent who has a very credible and established relationship with the builder and the people making the decisions about the deal you want to get done. Another thing that's important to note is that since I do work with so many new build buyers and builders, I can oftentimes give you insight in terms of what other deals we recently got negotiated at the development you're interested in buying. So whether it be appliances that we were able to secure, move-in package, interest rate incentive, closing costs, structural option upgrade, some additional flex cash the builder likes to give away, I can give you that insight. And the builder knows that I know that as well. So it makes that negotiation process a little bit smoother, because it's like, hey, you gave it to this person a couple weeks ago, let's get this person the same thing. This is just scratching the surface. I have sold and appraised countless new builds, and there are so many more tactics that I can share with you that you are not gonna find on Google. So let's get connected. There you go. Now that new build that you had your eyes on that you really, really wanted just got a lot more affordable. If you like this video, make sure you hit that like button to support this channel and what we do, and make sure you're subscribed to stay tuned in for more. As always, I like to end these videos with a little bit of inspiration and an important reminder, and in this case, it comes in the form of a quote that goes like this: what you focus on expands, so make sure it's something that you want. And that's a great reminder to kind of end this. Last reminder for you, whether you're looking to move today or a year from today, you can get connected with me, text, call, email, or schedule a free Zoom consult. We're happy to help make your move smooth anywhere in town. Until next time, we hope to see you around the neighborhood.